bring this down a little bit. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hello, hello, hello. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. If you have never seen me before, my name is Natalie Louise, and I am a self-esteem and business coach. And it is my mission to destigmatize low self-esteem. I always say that because that is my mission. I really want to provide a safe space for us to be real about where we are in our journeys, because if you don't know where you are, how can you chart a healthy pathway to where it is you want to be? And so what I want to talk about today is what is stopping you from becoming her. And so a lot of times I've seen this name. I've seen a lot of people have the name Becoming Her, and I understand, like, it's an aspirational thing. We all want to become her, whatever that means for you. What is becoming her for you? And so in my mind, becoming her, it means becoming the person that is successful, the version of you that is the most successful. Now, what we all have varying determining factors of what we think the success is. For me, success is going to be operating in who God says I am. I want to completely become all that God says I'm supposed to be, because that's success. Anything outside of that, baby, what's the goalpost? Okay? Because, and the reason I say that is this: we look at what the world says success is, and you could still be missing the mark. If you miss who God created you to be, you're still gonna miss the mark. So for me, success and becoming her is the embodiment of what God says I'm supposed to be. And so I want to talk about what's stopping you from becoming her, whatever that means for you. Because one thing I've learned on my journey through self-esteem and becoming her is that most of the things that we think are holding us back, they're not real. Most of the things we think are barriers to our next level are things that we create, right? I know y'all probably heard the saying that it's a story about two wolves, and what wolf grows the strongest is going to be who you feed. Whatever thoughts you feed, whatever imaginations you feed, you're going to create that reality. The world that you live in exists because of what you created. I know people don't want to take the credit. I know people don't want to take responsibility for what they've created, but that's the reality. Hey Mac, how you doing? That's the reality. The life that you're living is because you agreed to it. You ain't got to accept it, but one day you're gonna wake up and you're gonna say, now that lady, that loudmouth lady on a TikTok said that I had this life because I agreed to it. And what do I mean by that? Let's take it like this. You buy a car. In order for you to take that car off the lot and go home, you have to agree to the terms, right? You got to say, okay, I'll make that payment. I'll do this, I'll do that. You have to agree to the terms. In order for you to buy a house, you have to agree to the terms. In order for you to have the job that you have, you had to agree to the terms. Yes, I'll accept that pay. Yes, I'll come 40 hours a week, or whatever the terms were. Likewise, in your life, if you're engaging with people that mistreat you, those are the terms you accepted. I heard everybody's self-made, but only the successful would admit it. What you mean by that, JJ? Everybody's self-made. What that mean? I think I'm God-made. I think I'm God-made because I say that because on my own I was a mess. Completely dependent on me and my hopes and dreams and my willpower and my understanding and all that other stuff. Completely dependent on me. I was a mess. I was making all the bad decisions, choosing all the bad men, all the bad friends, all like. So I feel like I'm God made. Like whatever success I have, God did it. But I do agree with Fifi. Whatever you are not choosing, whatever you're not changing, you are choosing. Okay? I want y'all to be clear that what you're living in your life right now comes from agreements. So if you're in a relationship and you're not receiving the treatment that you want to receive, you got to come out of agreement. Come out of agreement with that. And I'm not talking about romantic relationships specifically, but I'm talking about family relationships, friendships. The reason that these things exist is because you've come into agreement with it. And sometimes it's not saying, yes, that's okay. Like, let's say a friend says something crazy to you. Maybe you didn't say, yeah, that's okay. But you not saying, hey, that's not okay with me. That means you agreed with it. What is it? What's the word? Not negligent, but because you did not say yes or no, you entitled yourself to that treatment. Hello, Kathy. How are you? Passive acceptance. Yeah. So we got to be conscious of the things that we agree to. And if you don't agree with treatment, if you don't agree with whatever terms, you have to be vocal about it and say, hey, that's not for me, baby. All right. Hey, Jesse, how you doing? Thank you so much for the heart, me. I appreciate it. But I want to talk about what's stopping you from becoming her. Because I know that we believe that it's external factors, right? External factors that stop us from being who it is that we desire to be. When that's not the reality is, I'm going to let y'all know what the reality is. So, what is causing the distance? What is the distance between who you are and who it is you say that you want to be? Does anybody have an idea what separates you from who you are and who you want to be? Right? If you have any ideas, feel free to put them in the chat. What's separating you from who you are and who you want to be? I'm gonna give you some. If you don't know, I'm gonna give you some. Okay. Number one on the list that stops people is fear. Confidence. All right. I love a chat about confidence. Discipline. Okay. So we got fear, we got comfort, we got confidence, we got discipline. The misconception that other people's opinions matter. That's a good one. Divorce. Okay. So along with divorce, we can do life circumstances, because you can be in a relationship. It's life circumstances relationally. I know somebody named Johnny Ray. I'm like, is that Johnny Ray? I didn't mean to invite you. So whoever I invited, I did not mean to do that. Please forgive me. But feel like you don't deserve it. Okay. All right. So we got fear. I have listed fear, comfort, excuses, whatever excuse you want to put there, old habits, and then the last one I have written down, the unwillingness to let the current version of you die. Now, constant giving, girl, yes, please cut the faucet off, okay? Ain't no more water. Cut it off. So, but I want to tell you what's really stopping you from becoming her. And it's going to be your belief system. What do you believe? Right? And if you look at all of the things that we named, they are all encompassed in your beliefs. Everything we named, fear, confidence, divorce, all of it is what you believe you can do because of whatever reason. Right? Really? Wow. Honey, we in the vein, ain't it? So, it is your belief system, y'all. Whatever you believe, I'm letting you know right now, whatever it is you believe about yourself, whatever it is you believe about your world, that is what's stopping you from becoming her, whatever that means for you. What is becoming her? You have to recognize what that means for you. And it is your beliefs. All right? So I want to be clear. Every single new level is going to require a new version of you. Every new level, whatever it is you want to do, it's going to require a new level. It's going to require a new version. Okay? And the unwillingness to let the current version of you die is what's going to keep you from that next level. Okay? All right. So, the biggest opposition for you to become her is your belief system. What you believe informs what you do. What you believe, hey Nala, hey Emerald, what you believe, wow. What you believe about yourself and what you believe about your world shapes how you move. It informs whether or not you try, whether you keep hiding, whether you sell that book, whether you write that book. Whatever you believe always shows up, right? Y'all know the scripture, faith without works is dead, right? Faith without works is dead. So I want to talk about that. Faith without works is dead. If you say you believe a thing, but you're not doing anything, do you really believe it? I'm a big proponent of truth. Tell yourself the truth. The reason that I stayed in low self-esteem for as long as I did was because I did not tell myself the truth. In my life now, I am about brutal honesty. I don't care how bad it hurt. Tell me the truth, okay? Because if you don't tell yourself the truth, how are you going to get to where you want to go? If you want somebody to lie to you and make you feel good, it's not me. It's not me. Because why? I want you free. And the truth shall do what? Make you free. The truth shall make you free. All right? So if you really believe a thing, you're going to move. If you really believe that you were supposed to start a business, why have you not started it yet? If you really believe you were supposed to create that digital product, why is it not created yet? If you really believe that you were supposed to be an entrepreneur, why are you not pursuing that thing yet? You don't believe it. You don't believe it. And so, how do we change our beliefs? How do we change our beliefs? So, faith, belief will make you act. Faith, belief will make... That's why I'm doing the Radical Obedience Challenge, y'all. That's why I'm doing the radical... I started on April 1st. I started the Radical Obedience Challenge where I took 3 things that I know God told me to do. And I've been doing them every single day of April. It's April what? 9th? Every single day. Because why? If you believe that God told you to do something, if you believe God gave you an instruction and you are not doing the thing that he said do you believe it? If you believe that God put on your life to be wealthy, right? But you're doing nothing to get there, do you believe it? Or do you believe you're incapable? So one of the beliefs is winning. I believe, because people love to say I believe God. But if you're not doing the thing, do you really believe the thing? And so one of the things, when I talk about radical obedience, I'm talking about a season of radical truth to myself. Right? Because I want you to be radically honest with yourself. I want to lose weight. I want to lose weight, y'all. But you're eating a cookie and a cake every night before you go to bed. You don't believe what you say. You're saying something and you're doing something different. You're not in alignment. And the reason why you haven't gotten any success is because what you're saying that you believe and what you're doing are incongruent. They don't match up. And so another thing, you're waiting for people to support your movement when you're not moving. You're waiting for people to show up and clap for you when you haven't done anything clap worthy. Obedience is not contingent upon celebration. You're waiting to be celebrated to be obedient, and that's why you haven't gone anywhere. That's why you haven't become anything, because your movement is predicated on whether or not people agree with what you're doing. One of the things that I'm learning on this journey is that part of the working, part of the inner working of it is your ability to go without any gas. Part of the faith, part of the growing and the trusting is to be able to go without any gas. If you don't have any help, will you still go? If you don't have any acknowledgement, any celebration, will you be consistent? If everybody tells you no, will you knock on that next door? That's how you know you want it. That's how you know you're becoming her. Because if everybody says no, do you still believe that God said this is what you're supposed to do? Y'all, I'm not talking to somebody who's always been, if you've been in here with me before, you know my story. I was a person who hated myself, who believed that nobody loved me, that nobody believed in me, that nobody. My life revolves around what people think. Understand me when I say this. There is nobody that can do for you what obedience will do for you. Nobody's appreciation is going to do for you what obedience will do for you. Nobody's acknowledgement will do for you what obedience will do for you. Y'all understand that we seek acceptance from people who might be dwelling in disobedience themselves? You want somebody to celebrate you for being obedient to God when they being disobedient. It's probably not going to happen, baby. It's probably not going to happen. Especially if you're looking for people around you to accept you. The best thing I ever did was block the people that were not supportive. That's the best thing I did. Because guess what I did? I put tunnel vision on. And I said, I don't want to see nobody but who God say see. And I'm going to show up here. And I'm going to do what I am supposed to do. What God has given me to do. Because I can't look to the left nor to the right. They're not going where I'm going. They're not who I'm called to. You got to put your blinders on. Y'all know, y'all understand when a horse, y'all ever seen a horse race? And they have the blinders on? Why? Why do they have the blinders off? Because they're going to be inefficient runners if they look to the left or to the right. They're going to be inefficient in the goal. Whatever it is that you're trying to do in becoming her, you can't look to the right nor to the left. You got to have tunnel vision. If you want to run the race efficiently, if you want to be successful, what is successful? Becoming everything that God created you to be. That's success. And so the reality is, it's our beliefs. Whatever it is you believe about yourself. If you believe that you need people from your town to support you for you to do what God say do, you'll never do it. It'll be designed just so. If I can get 5 people to support me from my town, I'll do what God say do. Oh, really? And it'll be just so that the enemy will hold up support. Like people that supported you. I'm telling y'all what I know. When I had low self-esteem, I had so much support. I had people, oh, beautiful, great, this is good, this is great. So many people supporting me. But when I shook that enemy off, when I was no longer confused about who God called me to be, what I'm supposed to be doing, when I was no longer confused, everybody shut their mouth. It was really crazy. Now, I'm going to tell y'all this. Who cares about online stuff, right? But the reality is this. I'm going to tell y'all. I used to get, I want to say like 200, 300 likes, right? When I had low self-esteem. Low self-esteem. No purpose. Just do in the world. When I started being purposeful and I said yes to God, do y'all know? I went to getting like one or two people supporting me. 1 or 2 people supporting me. People started to when I said yes to God, it was like the support dried up. But guess what I had to do? I don't care who say, I don't care. If God say yes, everybody can say no. If God say go, everybody can say no. Why? Because I'm not here for you. I'm here for who I'm called to. It's very offensive. It's very offensive. And I will say this. When I had low self-esteem, I was seeking validation. I wanted people to validate my existence. But now that I know I'm here and I'm valid. Why am I valid? Because I'm here. God did it. If I wasn't valid, I would not be here. Now stick that in your pipe and smoke it. If you wasn't valid, you wouldn't be here, baby. If you weren't, I'm going to tell you another thing, and I hope this helps. How people treat you is how they feel about themselves. How people treat you is how they feel about themselves. So you cannot, nobody can validate you. You were valid just because God put his hands on you and said, that's mine. That's when you became valid. There's nothing anybody else can say or do or suggest to validate you. Please be clear. And I'm going to tell you another thing. If you give people the power to feed you, you give them the power to starve you. If your existence is based solely on whether or not people like you, baby, you lost. You lost before you got started. Okay? You are valid simply because God said so. You are valid because God said so. I don't want you to ever be confused about that. So, we talked about what's stopping you from becoming her is your beliefs. So I want y'all to do a thing, and I haven't fleshed this out, but this is what I want y'all to do. I want y'all to write it down. Maybe you can, if you journal, I want you to write it down. I want you to write down, who am I currently? This just came to me before I got on here. Who am I currently? Right? And what I mean about that is, I want you to ask yourself. I want you to do an in-depth assessment of yourself. I want you to ask yourself, how often do I keep my word to myself? I want you to ask yourself, how often do I excuse my bad behavior? How often do I lie to myself? How often do I appreciate myself? How often do I care for myself? Now, I'm not talking about going to get your nails done or your hair done. I want you to ask yourself, how often do you care for yourself? Meaning you speak life into yourself. How often do you invest in yourself? Hey, I do nails. I want you to ask yourself these things, right? And the reason I want you to ask yourself these things is because I think that a lot of us, we go day to day. We don't know who we are. And we don't even know the version of ourselves that we are. So we talked about earlier, the next level, when you want to get to another level, it's going to require a new version of yourself, because the version that you are now, if the version of you now doesn't keep your word to yourself, if you're always talking down to yourself, if you always lying to yourself, if you're always just shrinking yourself and making you feel small, how can you be the lady on the stage if you beat yourself up? How can you be a motivational speaker if all you do is talk down to yourself? If all you do is abuse yourself, how are you going to be a help to somebody else? If you're never speaking life into yourself, why would I believe you to be able to speak life into me? And so what I want you to do, this practice is, I want you to see what your current version is. And I want you to write down who it is you aspire to be. Who it is. Me and one of my college best friends, we would always say, we're motivational speakers in the making, because we have been through so much turmoil in our life that we thought our story is crazy. One day, we're going to motivate somebody. But in order to become that, you got to heal this. In order to become her, you got to heal you right now. Come on, Missy baby. What's the problem? What's the problem though? You know it. When I'm doing well, he attacks. But I'm going to tell you this. This is one thing I've come to. This is the resolve that I have. There is no negotiating with obedience. Obedience, that's it. I'm not negotiating with what did God say do? I'm doing it. Not negotiating. When you're talking about who it is that you're becoming, what is the requirement? If you are going to, let's say you want to work on your fitness. If you want to lose 20 pounds and you set a standard for yourself, what you need to do is adhere to that standard. If you want to set a standard, I'm going to just say this. If you want to set a standard about the type of woman you want to be a woman of integrity. And you say, I'm not engaging in gossip anymore. You got to hold that line. I don't care how many of your friends sit around kiki ha. You got to hold that line. Because why? This is why. I said I'm becoming her. Everything that's not in alignment with who I said I wanted to be, gotta go. Whatever it is. Whether it's financial instability, you feel like you gotta get a new outfit every weekend. Is that in alignment with who you said you're supposed to be? Who you said you're aspiring to be? If it's not in alignment, you can't do it. Because why? Every decision that you make that's in alignment with your current version, you're saying, I don't want that version. Every decision that you make that's in alignment with who you are right now, you are rejecting who you say you want to be. I hope that's understandable. If you say you want to be in shape and you going to get you a pasta bowl every other day and you ain't going to walk, you ain't moving, you're not coming, you're never going to get there. Why? Because what you're doing is not in alignment. You have no congruence. Who you say you are and what you're doing, they have to match. Faith without works. If you have the faith, and I'm going to tell you what, I love that scripture because if you look at it and you study it, your works will tell you what you believe. What you do are going to tell you what you believe. I believe I deserve better, but you keep answering the phone for people who don't treat you right. Do you believe you deserve better? I believe I can apply for this management position. Do you believe? Did you apply yet? Have you put yourself into enrichment courses? Have you enriched your life to prepare for this next level that you say you want? Right? You don't believe it. I believe my daughter is talented musically. She's 4 years old. She's in piano. Why? I believe she has talent musically. So I'm going to nurture that. If you believe that you were created for something greater, you need to be nurturing the gifts. Whether that's reading, whether that's writing, whether that's learning another language, whether that's getting a mentor, whether that's denying your flesh. What do I mean by denying the flesh? You want to sit there and watch Housewives, but you need to be writing the vision. Is the vision written and plain yet? Huh? You want to coach women. You want to be a coach, but you're still engaging in activity that is not conducive to self-love. How you going to help me out of darkness and you sitting in the wilderness yourself? Huh? There is a time that you have to come into alignment and you have to take accountability. Let me tell you something. Clam chowder. Me too, girl. But guess what? That's a sacrifice. Sacrifice. Alignment and accountability. We want to get into alignment and we want to hold ourselves accountable for the decisions that we're making toward our future. Because I have to be transparent. I would say I wanted a thing and then I would look at Netflix. Girl, you need to be investing in your future. You need to be studying to show yourself approved. A workman. Huh? A workman of God. Rightly dividing the word of truth. Listen. I'm telling the truth. We say we want a thing, but then what do? We lick our wounds when it feels too heavy. Right? Because what happens is you may not be a drinker, but you might go to Real Housewives of Atlanta just to numb your mind. I can't carry the weight of the call, God. I can't carry the weight of this business. So I'm just going to drown my mind in looking at baddies. I never saw that before. But I get it. I'm going to drown my mind. I'm going to mute out the world and waste my time. I know I'm supposed to be drafting plans to mentor little girls. I know that I'm supposed to be getting plans ready to mentor women. I know I'm supposed to be speaking. I know I'm supposed to be writing a book or creating a knitting club. I know I'm supposed to be doing all these other things, God, but I'm just going to watch Love and Marriage Huntsville. That used to be my show. I used to like that one. But if it's not getting you to where you're supposed to be, it's stealing your time. And we was recently talking about, we just had a feast, and we were talking about, well, the message that God gave me was how we gift our future to the enemy. How do we gift our future? How do we gift our future to the enemy? And when it came to me like that, I was like, how do we gift our future? God, what you talking about? We gift our future to the enemy. What is the future? Anything after the present. Anything after the present. Tomorrow is the future. This evening is the future. And rather than you have your time lined up to invest in yourself, you done got lined up to watch your Thursday night TV shows. Nothing enriching your soul. Nothing getting your plans ready. Nothing in obedience to what God has created you to do. You're gifting your future. How can you become her when you're gifting the future to the enemy? And I'm so passionate about this, y'all, because what we don't understand is that we talked about stewardship one time. I talked about stewardship, and I was talking about how when God brought us into the world, we are gifts, right? Whether you believe it or not, you're a gift to your community. And it is your job to steward yourself well, not just for you, but for the people that you're called to. It's your job to invest in yourself, right? It's your job to discipline yourself. It's your job to be a woman of your word. It's your job to be integral, right? Because you're not just for you, baby. You're for who you're called to. And so the more you drown your mind in things that don't enrich you, you're what? Robbing your future. You're gifting your future to the enemy. And you're robbing the people that you're called to from a key. Like, you may be a destiny helper for somebody else, but because you would, I'm too overwhelmed, God. I don't think I can do this. I'm too overwhelmed. It's too much. Because you said not me, or later me. God, I'll do it when I'm 40. God, I'll do it when I'm 50. It's too much. I can't do it right now. Because you said that, you are gifting what God created you for to the enemy. But then you get on the line and you say, I'm becoming her. I'm becoming her. Yeah, yeah, becoming her. Yeah, doing big things in 2026, and you go back to the TV and waste your time. I'm going to tell you the truth because I love you, and I don't want the enemy to steal anybody else's future, and I don't want nobody gifting their future to the enemy. The act of becoming is an action. The act of becoming is an action. And so we want to become, but we don't want to do any work. We want to become, but we don't want to do any work. How does that work out? And what we don't understand, y'all, this is what we don't understand, is that whether you do the work or not, the future is coming. Whether you prepare or not, time is going to keep going. Whether or not you will be ready is up to you. Whether or not you will be ready is up to you. And then when it comes time for you to be ready and you're not ready, you say, Lord, give me more time. Will there be more time, or will that cut pass to somebody who was ready? I'm going to say this. Where do you start? The first place to start is by telling yourself the truth today. Tell yourself the truth today. I want to start with a question that I like to ask myself daily. What's stopping you? What is stopping you? This is what I like to ask myself. What is stopping you? Now, I'm going to give y'all something that I typically only give people that come into my class, but I want to give you this. I want you to start asking yourself, what's stopping me, right? Ask yourself that, and you can write it down. You can say it out loud. And I know we're saying me, right? I see y'all saying me, right? Yourself. I want you to get down to the nitty gritty. What's stopping you, right? I want you to get down to the nitty gritty, because it's not just you. It might be the fear of people's opinions. It might be the fear of rejection. It might be, what else is there? People not accepting you. It's a lot of stuff. We got a whole list about why we can't do the thing, right? So the second question is, what would happen? What would happen if you transfer the weight, all the weight you're talking about? What would happen if you transfer the weight of that to God and move forward anyway? What would happen? If you say, okay, fear of rejection, God, I'm giving the fear of rejection to you. I'm going to put the fear of failure. I'm going to give you the fear of failure, right? I'm going to let you have that because it feels too heavy for me, right? And so once I give that to you, what would happen? I'm going to move forward. And I want you to ask yourself again, now what's stopping you? This is what has helped me. It's never a time unknown. Exactly, Kathy. Exactly. And when I come to that answer, that nothing is stopping me, you get to work immediately. You get to work immediately. You don't give any time to run back into the doubt. No. You ask yourself, what's stopping me in this moment? Because a lot of times what happens is you're supposed to do a thing, right? And you have all these thoughts about what's stopping you. Okay, these are the things that's stopping me. If I give these things to the Lord and move anyway, what's stopping me? Nothing. Nothing is stopping you. Nothing. I don't care what it is, y'all. Fear of rejection. Here you go, God. It's too heavy for me. I can't carry the fear of rejection. I got to give that to you. Literally nothing is stopping you. And so I practice this. I practice asking myself these questions because it puts everything in perspective and it takes away any excuse you have. I don't care what the excuse is. Thank you. Nothing is stopping you. Thank y'all so much. Nothing is stopping you. We have every opportunity to become who God said we're supposed to be. Every opportunity. Every day you get a new chance to become who God says you're supposed to be. Every day. And so it's your decision. Either you can choose to be obedient. The Bible says, the willing and obedient. The willing. So what I was saying earlier is that what's holding you back from becoming her is the distance between what you know and what you are willing to do. And it was so important. I underlined willing in my book. Because I wanted to come back to that. It's what you're willing to do. If you're not willing to do the thing, you're not going to do it. You're going to find excuses. The willing and obedient shall eat the good of the land. That is the King James Version. I don't have my Bible with me, and I don't have my tablet to go to my Bible. Can somebody give her what that scripture is? It's the willing and obedient. The willing and obedient shall eat the good of the land. I love when it says shall. I love when it says shall, because you know why? That's a promise. If you are willing and you're obedient, you shall eat the good of the land. And so the reason I want to come back to that, the becoming her, right? Becoming her, the distance between what you know and what you are willing to do. If you are not willing to be obedient, you'll never be her. If you're not willing to let the old version of you go, you'll never be her. Why? Because you're going to keep excusing your choices. You're going to keep excusing your disobedience. Well, God, I couldn't be obedient because such and such wouldn't watch my kids. I couldn't be obedient because you have all the excuses in the world as to why you could not be obedient. You weren't even willing. I'm going to tell you this. I have decided that if it's what God says, I will not make any excuses. If I get on her one day and Abigail's over my shoulder, it's going to be so. Why? Because I'm going to be obedient. If I got to be going to sleep on the treadmill, thank you so much. If I have to be going to sleep on the treadmill, God said 30 minutes of walking. I got to get it done. Why? Because if you be willing and obedient, you're going to eat the good of the land. It's a promise. And God said his word will never fall. Never. And I'm sorry, y'all. I love the Lord. That's my dad. I don't have a real dad. I mean, he here walk around somewhere. But, you know, he's not in my life like that. So I talked to God and I'm like, okay, God, I've been obedient and I've been willing. And I know that what you say is true. You're not a man that you should lie, neither the son of man that you should have to repent. You're going to do what you said. So I'm going to show up and do what I said I would do, what you told me to do. I'm going to do that. And I expect you to do, because God said, remind him of his word. That's what he said. Remind him of his word. And you think, I'm not going to let him forget. I'm not going to let him forget. You said, if I be willing and obedient, I shall eat the good of the land. That's it. That's all. But I want y'all to be clear. When you're talking about becoming her, what's stopping you? It's what you're willing to do. What are you not willing to let go of? You're not willing to let go of those friends who not doing nothing? They're not being obedient to God. And you said, I'm going to be obedient, but I'm going to hang on to these people that are disobedient. I'm going to be obedient, but I'm going to keep engaging with this man who will not marry me. Who does not love my soul, who does not love his soul. Come on now. But I want to become her. I want to say, I wish I had my tablet in here so we could look up becoming. What does becoming mean? That's an action word. That's an action word. And we have to be ready to take action. I don't want anybody living another stagnant year. This is it. I wrote this down in my little book. It says created with a purpose. I am a person who loves journals. I absolutely love. And this one came with this. I'm thinking about making me something like this. But it says created with a purpose. And I said, this is what I said. I'm going to share y'all. How can we stick to habits? You have to become. How can we stick to habits? You have to become who are you, right? What habits are you wanting to stick to? And you have to stop negotiating what you said you would do. Okay? All right, so I said, hello, Natalie Louise. Hello, me. Hello, me. This is your shift season. This is the season that you show up. This is the season for go. This is the season for no. This is the season for grow. I am putting up points on the scoreboard daily and walking in obedience with who and what God has called me to be. I lay at the altar every accusation because the enemy is the accuser of the brethren. Okay? And I only identify with obedience. I love y'all too. I only identify with obedience. God, I trust you to show me just how good it can get. I trust you. I only identify with obedience. Because guess what? The enemy will say this. Somebody said it earlier. Sometimes you feel lazy, right? I know, I get that. But the enemy will say, you too lazy. You too tired, girl. Girl, you can't make no another post today. You can't make no schedule. You can't write no poetry. You can't write your book. You can't do anything. You're too lazy. Lay down. Lay down. I don't identify with lazy. I identify with obedience. Why? because I'm going to eat the good of the land. I'm eating the good of the land, baby. I'm telling you, and the enemy tries to come in like logic. Well, you know you worked all day. You know them kids hungry, girl. You got to go in there and feed them kids. Girl, and you got laundry to do. Ooh! Child, I'm tired. Think about it. Y'all think I don't know how it go? I know how it go. Because guess what? Guess what he wants you to do? I don't have my notebook in here with me, and I hate that. Because I wanted to let y'all know there are 4 ways that we gift our future to the enemy. 4 ways. I might just have to come back on here and do that another day. But the 4 ways, we got idolatry. Idolatry. We fearing everybody. We putting everything before the Lord. We putting everything before God. We gifting our future to the enemy. Disobedience. Disobedience is how we gift our future to the enemy. How? Because the enemy knows that the willing and obedient shall eat the good of the land. The enemy knows that God has good of the land over there for you. He got it right over there for you. But if the enemy can keep saying, girl, you too tired. Girl, you know you can't do that. You too tired. Lay down. Just lay down and take a 15-minute nap. And you ever notice sometimes you be so tired, okay, I'm going to take a nap. Then you start scrolling and you be up another hour. But you was too tired to do what you was supposed to be doing towards your business. Huh? Come on now. Come on now. So, I mean, tell me that ain't how it works. You be too tired, and then all of a sudden you get to scrolling and be like, read the comments. All in the comments just having yourself a ball, but you was too tired 2 seconds ago. I'm telling you how it go. Them fingers be working good, ain't it? Be cackling all in the comments, about to cry laughing. And so, I just want us to be clear. And you know, because I've been through, y'all, I want to help as many people as I can because I've been through. And I know how it goes. I know what it feels like to come into lives and be motivated, right? Be motivated like, you know what? Yes, girl. Yes, we about to be obedient. Eating the good of the land. You know, nobody does that anymore. But it's okay. I know what it feels like to be motivated. I know what it feels like to like be super excited and alive. But I want y'all to be not motivated. I want you to be decided that there is no other option. If you truly want to become her, there is no other option. You cannot negotiate. Somebody said something, I missed it. Somebody lied to you, baby. Somebody lied to you. I understand that. Somebody told me that I was ugly because I was dark skinned. They lied to you. They lied. A lot of times, you know, I say this all the time. A lot of times the people that we were given to did not steward us well. They did not steward us well. But this is your opportunity to steward yourself well. It don't matter what they said. What did God say? And what are you saying now? What did God say? And what are you saying now? I don't know what I say, Bree. I be talking. I don't even know what I say, sister. I cannot get with that. I'm trying. I love me too now. I love me too. Thank the Lord for freedom and deliverance from other people's trauma. Because a lot of things, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, a lot of things that were projected onto us, and I think somebody said this, people projected their fears and all that onto us. Thank Kathy. They projected, all that projection, baby, project that thing right back at them. And that don't apply to me. I'm God's favorite baby. Okay? I am his favorite child. And he was cut up in the kitchen when he made me. I mean, he don't need no sleep, but he was cutting up. He must have had him a good nap after when he made me. I have learned to love myself. Man, listen, I got picked on by my lips. What else I got picked on? My teeth. I had buck teeth. Child, but we thank the Lord. I'm so glad I went through the ugly stage because I feel like it helped my character. Like, I feel like I'm not concerned about people. I'm not really like, I like to look nice, but I know who I am outside of what I look like. I love who I am, not just what I look like. I love me because I'm good, you know? So I think I may share that with y'all, the ways that we give, the 4 ways we give to our future to the enemy. Thank you so much, Certified Baddie. I appreciate it. I'm sure you are too, honey, because they be trying to make us feel small when they can see that we big, you know? People be trying to make you feel small when they can see that glow on you. They can see God's hand on you. Please believe that, y'all. Maybe, and the people, I feel like this, sometimes people don't even know it be, they be giving up, they give their way to the enemy and say, use me. And the enemy knows that you are meant for something great, so he say, let me push her down, let me beat her up, let me make sure she never know that God got something great for her to do. That was my story, and he not that creative. Okay, let's be clear, the enemy is not that creative. What he did over here, he would try to do over there with y'all. Okay, he ain't that creative. He ain't got that many tricks. All right, I'm gonna get up out of here. I am having my 3-day self-esteem boot camp. It's called Identity Intervention, where we do a deep dive on how we can get your identity lined up with what God says about you and not what people say about you. Again, Identity Intervention. The link is in my bio. It's a 3-day self-esteem boot camp. It is live via Zoom. I'm also having the Before You Get Rich masterclass, which is just 1 day. And what we talk about in the Before You Get Rich masterclass is how to undo all of the limiting beliefs that you have that's keeping you from being able to steward what God has for you in your success season. I love y'all so much. It's so crazy that I can't even put into words how much I love y'all, how much I want y'all free from all the things that have you bound. I really want you free. So yeah. The link is in my bio. Identity Intervention is the 3-day self-esteem boot camp. I love y'all so much. I pray you have a good evening. I hope you love yourselves. I'll see y'all tomorrow.